All right, so we've covered the in-class activity, and I'd like to go over the group web design evaluation and give you time to work in your groups. So I'm going to go to Module 3, and let's talk a little bit about the assignments or assignments that are associated with your group evaluation. So this is the one assignment or activity that you'll be working in groups. I've assigned you a group of 4 or more students, and I've assigned a website to you that you will evaluate, again, based on the best practices. So the idea here is that you'll work in your groups, you'll determine what the group will do to evaluate, right, that website, whether everybody does it or whether you break up the work. It's really up to you to decide, right? So give you a few tips on how to work with groups, and all your group members should really participate, because if they don't get credit for the assignment. Okay, so you'll be taking the website I provide you and then evaluate it based on the best practices. Remember that link that I showed you? These are the best practices. There's about 8 different categories that you'll be looking to see if that website I provided meets these best practices. Now, the groups are under groups. So to find yours, you can either use the link here in the main area on the right-hand side, or go to the left-hand side and you'll see that there's a groups link as well. Okay? So when you click on groups, you'll be provided one of the groups. Now, in this case, I gave myself group 1 just to show you what it might look like. But you'll be either within group probably 5, 6, 7, or 8, I believe. So those are going to be one of your groups. If you are not in a group, well, then you need to let me know. But I think everyone is now in a group. This information will provide you with 2 things. 1, what website you're evaluating. 2, the link to the best practices again. And then, well, 3 in this case, information about how you should be communicating with your group. So do not communicate via email. Communicate via the group area that you have. So click on the group, and now you'll have all the information that you need to accomplish this evaluation. 1, again, the website you're going to evaluate. 2, how you're going to evaluate it using the best practices. And then all your group members. Okay? So you can either upload files to the file exchange. It's up to you, right? Maybe you're really comfortable in Word, and so you want to write up your part of the evaluation in Word. No problem. You can upload it to the file exchange. Okay? You won't be using that file to attach to your post. You'll simply be taking all of that, summarizing it, and sticking it inside one of the Blackboard forums, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Now, you can also, and you will have to, communicate via the discussion board. This discussion board only exists, okay, within your group. So it already looks like somebody has submitted a forum, right, for this group, right, this discussion board called Team Name. Because that's the first assignment that's due tonight, is the team name. Right? So at the end of the day tonight at 11:59 p.m., your team name is due. And so in this case, you click on the forum, and you can create as many as you'd like. It appears that 2 people have already responded to this particular team, right, and the name they want to give that group or team. All right? So let's go back to the, let's see. The evaluation information. So again, you have a website, you'll evaluate it based on the best practices. You've been provided a group and a website that you'll be evaluating. And then these are the 2 assignments that you'll be submitting. The first one is a team post. And if you refer to the calendar, it'll tell you when it's due. It's tonight. All you need to do is provide the team's or the group's team name, right? So instead of calling group 1, you'll be called whatever it is that you want to call your group. And then you'll provide all of the member names in that group. Okay? The second assignment for this evaluation is the summary. that's not due for another week or so, right? So look at the calendar to make sure when that is due. Okay? Now, where do you go and submit both assignments? When they're due, right? Or before they're due? That's under assignments. You click on that link, and it's going to take you right to the discussion area. That's where you'll be posting it under something called Group Design Evaluation Forum. Click on that, and you have two threads in this forum. One's called Team Post, one's called Evaluation Summary. The Team Post assignment goes inside the Team Post. The summary goes inside the summary. Okay? The instructions in the website design evaluation area tell you exactly where to go and what to do. Okay? Let's go back to the website evaluation. So again, as a review, I provided you a group, a website, the best practices. You'll work together with your group to come up with a team name that's due tonight, and that is tonight, Wednesday night, right, the 16th, and a summary, which is not due till later on. And here are the two assignments. Now, the other part of this is the classroom section will be presenting their summary. Right? So you'll be presenting your evaluation. The presentation should be a reduced or smaller version of the summary, right? So it's not simply creating a summary and writing it on paper and coming up here and talking about it, right? And just reading what you write. No. The presentation is simply a summary, really, of that summary, hitting the high points, right? It should last no longer than 5 to 10 minutes. And every group member will have a part to play in the presentation. And here are the information about that presentation. Right? It's basically taking the summary, or if you haven't created the summary yet, creating a summary of what you've evaluated and then presenting it. And perhaps that summary is what you'll use to create your summary that you submit, right? So it's up to you in what order you want to do it. But you'll have to do all of the evaluation portion first before you can come up with either what you're going to be presenting and or what you'll be submitting, right? I believe based on the calendar, you'll be presenting before you'll be submitting your summary. Okay. You are definitely not graded on your presentation, but you have to be here to present. This is the one day you have to be here in class. It's the presentation day. That's the only day that the classroom section has to be here. Okay? And then the online section, which I don't think anyone here is in, they do not have to present because they're online. So they are not required to come to a classroom session. Any questions about this? I know you had from Monday to take a look at it, right? And perhaps start communicating with your group. Now, here's the other comment. I do not want you to communicate via email. However, this one caveat, I will allow that to send one email to your group members to get the ball rolling. That is, if nobody seems to be responding to your posts in the group area, right? I might recommend to send an email and say, hey, everyone, we're doing a group project, right? A group evaluation, and here's the name I'm recommending, and if you don't respond by, right, now perhaps, in a few hours, well, then that's the one I'm going to submit. And here are the parts everybody has to play. I need the information by whatever date you want, right? So look at the calendar to determine that. So the question you'll have to answer, and your group will have to answer, is how will you be parsing out the work, right? Will everybody be doing their separate evaluations, or will we be breaking it up into different areas based on the best practices? Who'll be writing it up? Who'll be submitting it? So there are a few things that have to be identified and defined before, right, you can get to work. But the first thing, and that what's most important, is the team name, which is due tonight. Okay? All right. At this point, you can ask questions, and I'll also allow you to get in your groups so you can talk about it and decide to submit, if you'd like, your first assignment of the evaluation.